within about a 2-month span, we have new owners, new editor, new publisher, redesigning print, redesigning our website, losing our Monday edition, changing a lot of our processes and software to match with our new parent company, and probably like 5 other things that I can't think of right now because there's so many of them.
You know, the Democrat itself, I think, has been mismanaged for 3-4 years. So we have a lot of room for growth. On the subscription side, we're revamping everything. We're being smart about our news content. We're being smart about our waste. We're being smart about how we put the paper together. We've actually eliminated a Monday paper and just focusing on a Tuesday through Saturday edition. The reason for that is just to give it better. The 5 days a week is to give it better quality news.
The editor's job just kind of happened and fell in my lap. My boss left for a new job that he couldn't pass up. It was closer to family, and we wanted someone who could have that institutional knowledge of the Democrat and of Sedalia, what the community needs, what they expect. We're going through some different changes at the Democrat. We're under new ownership. We have a new publisher, and so we thought it made the most sense for our readers to keep someone that they knew, a familiar face, that byline they've already seen. And so that's how I landed myself in the editor's office this year. I am young and I have a lot to learn, and I know that, and I'm the first to admit it, and I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong and make a mistake. But I also bring a pretty good perspective. We have a wide age range in our newsroom, which I think is important. I think you can't have all young people, you can't have all older people. You need both. We all bring something to the table. And so I think me having that newer perspective, that perspective on that journalism is changing more than it ever has right now, I'm willing and able to adapt to that. And so that's how I'm trying to lead our newsroom, is this is changing and we're going to work to change with it.
My readers like our photos, but the stories that do resonate with them are not about sports most times. It's about the person or what they do in their free time and what motivates them. So if I can capture that, that's a success.
Recently, I covered a story about a Reverend Jerry Jones who is like in his 70s. He goes in and covers jail ministry. He's not very well off. He works from his home. And recently, a group of Mennonite churches got together because of what he does, and they worked on his home, worked on his garden, put siding on his home, and brought him to tears, just to show their appreciation as a community for what he does in jail ministry here. So that's one particular story I'm proud of. I think those types of stories matter to the community and to the Democrat and to myself because it speaks about the type of people that live in this community. And it shows other people that there are good people here that the community can pull together, that even though we're not a big city, we're a smaller, rural, mid-America community that's farm-oriented, we can pull together, we can help other people. We have quality people living here that other people may not even know about. So that's why I think it matters.
So we have a family in town who sadly lost their daughter last year to a heroin overdose at the age of 22 in her dad's Sedalia home on Broadway, which is the main street that runs right down the middle of Sedalia. And he put a very prominent sign in his front yard with her photo that said, "She died here on this day. Heroin's in Sedalia. We need to talk about it." And people did. He started a community conversation, and we became part of it. This year was the 1-year anniversary of them losing Jessica, and so they did a candlelight vigil with her family and friends to remember her. And a lot of the big city outlets came to Sedalia for the night and did some real quick stand-up interviews. There's one other station that did some pretty good coverage. She and I were kind of on the same path with it, but we, I think, did more than anyone else. That's something that I like to remind our readers. They say like, "Oh, well, we saw it on the Kansas City news station." That's the news station that we get our broadcasts from. We don't have our own in Sedalia. And I told them like, yeah, they did cover it, but we're going to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Being the fact that we are celebrating 150th anniversary next year, and being one of the oldest businesses in Sedalia, you know, we've got to be a rock. We've got to be here for support for everybody. Because as soon as a town of this size, if they were to lose their local newspaper, they really lose their identity.
I think with new technologies just burgeoning, we're stepping into video and trying to find our place on the website, in the digital world. I think as we grow accustomed to that, we'll find a groove in the same way we found a groove as we were growing into a print paper. That's a long time ago to look back upon, but I think things go in cycles, and we're going to figure out how to make a website people want to go to every day and enjoy looking at.
No matter what kind of changes have occurred over the years in journalism, we are still working hard to do our best to bring the news to the people in this country.